today's class, I did mention that we're going to be doing some visualization and such, but in the meantime, we're going to start off with a pranayama. So if you want, find yourself in a nice, comfortable seated position. Again, you can always sit on a chair if that feels better for you, but if you're on the floor, just to check to make sure your sits bones making a nice, comfortable contact with the ground or block or bolster or towel. And you can always sense, depending on what you've been going through, or just maybe your anatomical body is created a certain way. If you notice your knees are up really high, what happens is, of course, your spine's going to be curved, and then you're hunched over there, and you're going to feel this tightness. So by sitting on top of a block or anything that's going to allow your hips to be actually higher than your knees, going to enable you to be a lot more comfortable, especially for the breathing. So we really want to be able to expand our lungs or our diaphragm, and therefore our belly rises. And so that's something that I'd like for you to keep to be nice and accessible for you. So this pranayama that we're going to be doing, this breathing technique, we have done it in the past. It's our nadi shodhana, which is the alternate nostril breathing. Now, just a little bit of a caveat. This is the one where we're going to be breathing through one side of our nostril and then exhaling through the opposite. Typically, we use our right hand. And so with the right hand, our thumb is going to press up against our right nostril. Then later on, when we're trying to keep the right nostril open and then we're going to close off our left nostril, you'll end up using your pinky and your ring finger. So what do you do with the other two fingers, your index finger and your middle finger? That's going to be actually touching the third eye, the spot between your eyebrow. And this is an acupressure point as well. So last week we talked about a lot of different acupressure points. This is that third eye, and that helps with calming, it helps with relaxing. So that's also a benefit. Now, if by chance your finger doesn't really touch that comfortably, you can always just kind of let it loose. So with the alternate nostril breathing, what's great about it is it's a nice balancing between the two sides that we have. Usually the feminine side, the cooling side, is considered the left side, and then the energizing, the masculine side, the yang side, is considered the right side, right? So from that balancing standpoint. The other thing that's kind of interesting to notice is during the day, you tend to breathe, your body automatically breathes through one side versus the other side a little bit more so, and you might not even be aware of it. So this is giving you a little bit more awareness of your own breath, and now you're going to actually help control it. If by chance you are currently battling a cold or a fever or perhaps some type of flu, just skip this, because again, this is balancing between the two, so it might be harder for you to breathe in through one or the opposite side. Plus, because the left side is our cooling side and the right side is our heating side. Again, if you're battling something, I would just recommend you do normal pranayama, just a normal breathing technique. Okay, so with that, just set your intention, feel yourself nice and comfortable. We're going to do this a couple times. Let's just exhale through your nose. Inhale through your left nostril. Exhale through your left nostril. Let's use your thumb, press it against your right nostril. Inhale through your left. Close your left nostril with your pinky and ring finger. Open up your right nostril. Exhale through your right. Inhale through your right nostril. Close with your thumb, opening up your left nostril. Exhale through your left. Inhale through your left. Close your left nostril, open up your right nostril. Exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close your right, open up your left. Exhale. Inhale through your left. Close your left, open up your right. Inhale through your right. Close your right, open up your left. Exhale. Inhale through your left. Close your left, open up your right. Exhale through your right. Continue to do this on your own, 3 breath cycle. Just make sure you're matching your inhalation and your exhalation. So everyone's breath is going to be a little bit different. Once you're done, you just place your hands back comfortably on top of your thighs and just feel yourself just breathing. Just follow your own natural breath cycle. The verse I'm going to have us reflect on is from Hebrews. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Depending on what your walk is this day or maybe this past week, what are you hoping for? Not wishing, but hoping for. Knowing that your faith is assured. God has so much that He promises us. So that having that faith really helps. So we're going to start off in a special visualization. So with that, I'd like for you to find yourself in a nice, comfortable supine position, lying down. So we're going to be in this position for a while as I walk you through, or talk you through, I should say, the visualization. So find what makes it most comfortable. So if by chance you prefer, you can have your knees bent. You can even use a bolster. Check as far as cervical rolls are concerned. If you notice that your chin may be jutting upward toward the sky, you might want to have some towels or blankets underneath your head. But you also don't want to place it so that you have a block or something too high that your chin is now really lean in toward your chest. So once you find yourself in a nice, comfortable position, have your hands just comfortably down by your side. Going to close your eyes. Now, I'm going to be giving you some verbal cues, and you're going to only be thinking about it, okay? So you're going to be imagining your body doing, but you're not going to physically be moving your body. So this is the whole visualization. Just get yourself nice and settled. We're going to be doing a sun salutation. Imagine yourself standing at the top of your mat, feet slightly apart, parallel to each other. As you place your hands together at heart center in prayer pose, inhale your arms as you sweep your arms up toward the sky. And as you exhale, you feel yourself sweeping your arms down, forward fold at your hips. And inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. And then as you exhale, you bring your right foot back into either a high lunge or a low lunge. Low lunge is where you have your knee on the floor and untuck your toes and have the top of the foot onto the mat. Or if you're in high lunge, your right leg is just straight back. And inhale your arms up toward the sky. Really sense where your shoulders are at. If they're not uncomfortable, you can always have your hands together. If not, you can always have it apart. Your gaze is straight ahead or slightly up if you prefer. As you exhale, you place your hands down onto the mat, take a step back into your downward facing dog. Really feel what that downward facing dog is feeling like. Can you feel your spine elongating and maybe the back of your legs? Feel as your heel goes toward the floor, your hands nice spread out, firm against the ground. As you inhale, you bring your torso, your body forward into that plank pose. And really feel your core up toward your pelvic, toward this back spine. And slowly exhale as you go into that chaturanga where you're bending your elbows so that your arm is now perpendicular. And then you feel your shoulder blades coming toward each other. Your hips are still even with your vertebrae, so you're not falling down. Or if you prefer, you can always drop your knees to the floor, a little bit of support. As you inhale, you're going to go into a upward facing dog, bringing your body forward, arms straightening up, gaze straight ahead. Or if this is a little too intense, you can always do a baby cobra. Your hands directly underneath your shoulders as well. Feel your spine into that slight back bend in both situations. As you exhale, you can press into your hands, go into a downward facing dog again. This time, you're going to bring your left foot forward into that high lunge or low lunge so that, or I should say your right leg forward, sorry guys, and then drop your left knee down if you want to go in that low lunge. Again, your hands are going to go up toward the sky with your inhale. Feel how your shoulder feels. Feel your spine elongate up toward the crown of your head toward heaven. As you exhale, you're going to step up, forward fold. Inhale as you sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Hands at heart center. Just stand here in Tadasana. You drop your hands down by your side again, palms facing forward. And really sense how your feet feel nice and firm and grounded, rooted in. Your crown of your head up toward the sky. Your shoulder blades are down back, rolled back, away from your ears. Feel that nice energy coming, rooted from the earth all the way up toward heaven. You are the connection between the two. And just slightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your ankles and your wrist. If you want, you can even open up your eyes. You're going to hug your right knee toward your chest. Just interlace your fingers, just gently, not too much. As you inhale here, as you exhale, let's bring your left knee toward your chest. Extend your right leg out. Lift your left leg up toward the sky. Lift your right arm up toward the sky. Your left hand's down by your side. And your left leg may not be straight right now. That's completely fine. Just feel a bit of motion. Now we're going to bring your right leg up, left arm up. Bend your left knee, drop your right hand. So we're going to reverse now. Your right leg's up, your left arm's up. And then we're going to alternate between the two. So you're going to bend your right knee, straighten your left leg up. Bring your right leg up, left arm up, dropping your left foot down, and vice versa. We're doing a little bit of brain balancing. course, I'm getting a big challenge. Remember which one's my left and right. Keep alternating between the two with your breath. Now we're going to allow all 4 limbs up toward the sky, and we're just going to shake it around. Just feel a little bit of motion. Hug your knees to your chest again. Rock a little bit side to side. And just sense how your back feels, how your hips might be feeling, maybe your wrist. And then we're going to roll over to your right side or left side, whichever feels best. And use your upper arm, just press yourself up. You're going to get into a tabletop. Knees are directly underneath your hips, hip width apart. Wrists are directly underneath your shoulders, shoulder width apart. So we're in our tabletop. We're just going to do a couple cat-cow. So again, you choose which level. You can do what we did last week and go to your 25%, 50%, or 75%. And so with this, as you inhale, drop your belly down toward the floor and lift your head up, tailbone up. And as you exhale, you're going into your cat's pose. And just do this, go back and forth to whatever degree you want. You set your own intention, what you want out of today's practice. And once you finish your 3 different breath cycles, cat-cow, just awakening your spine, go down and tuck your toes, lift your knees up off the ground into our first downward facing dog, or actual downward facing dog, and walk our feet up toward our hand. All right, slowly come up, slowly come up. We're getting into our mountain pose, or Tadasana. All right, we had visualized ourselves doing sun salutation. This time we're going to actually physically do our sun salutation. So feet are nice and grounded into the mat, parallel to each other. And place our hands at heart center, palms touching each other in prayer pose. And I'd like for you to take this time to really set your intention. I love to imagine this prayer pose, our sun salutation, to really reflect on the sun, knowing that when we receive him, we actually have the Holy Spirit indwelling in us. So what better way for us to do this? As we place our hands down by our side in actual Tadasana, to really feel your shoulder blades behind you, palms facing toward front. As you inhale, sweep your arms outward, stretch it all the way up to the sky. Exhale as you sweep it back down, folding at your hips into our forward fold. You can always bend your knees if your back feels a little tight. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. As you exhale, place your hands down by the mat, bring your right foot back. So check your left knee, it's right over your left ankle. You can always drop your right knee toward the floor, and if so, place a blanket or a towel underneath it. If you want, you can inhale your arms up. Exhale, your hands back down, take a step back with your left foot and downward facing dog. If you want, you can walk your feet out just to kind of stretch it some. As we inhale to plank, remember your shoulders are right above the wrist, keeping your back nice and straight. Really feel yourself bring your core inward. Your arms are perpendicular to the floor. As you exhale, we're going to a chaturanga. We're going to start bending your elbows down. So now that your arm's going to be parallel to the floor, drop your knees down and inhale to upward facing dog. So you can do baby cobra, completely fine. Just make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. And as you exhale, bring yourself into that downward facing dog. So really bring your core in. Inhale your left foot forward. So left ankle is directly underneath your left knee. Inhale your right arm, both arms up. Exhale your hands down. Take a step up your right foot. You're in forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shin, flat back. Exhale it all the way back down. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Your inhale. Exhale all the way forward fold. Inhale to flat back, nice hands on your shin. Exhale your hands to the floor. Take a step back to your left foot. Right knee over that right ankle. Inhale your arms up. You can always drop that left knee onto the floor. Exhale your hands back down to the mat. Take a step back to the right foot, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank, top of the push-up. We're going to do that chaturanga. So as you exhale, you're starting to bend your elbows. Inhale to baby cobra or upward facing dog, yogi's choice. Exhale into downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale as you bring your hands down, take a step up your foot, forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shin, like back. Exhale your hands back down. And as you inhale, sweep your arms all the way up toward heaven. Exhale your hands to heart center. All right. Now how did that feel as far as sun salutation? Do you feel like your body was already kind of warmed up for it? Even though that I keep still messing up my right and left. All right, so we should be nice and warmed up. So let's go work on some more of our balancing poses and such. So feet are nice and comfortable next to each other. Let's start heel toeing your feet together. So we're going to go into our tree pose. So feel your left foot rooted into the earth. And you can either like just kickstand your right heel up against your ankle. And when you do this, I really want you to feel your core. So your core's not going to just be open up. It's going to actually tuck inward. Bring yourself into the center line. So you can stay here. Sense where your shoulders are at. If you want, you can have your hands at prayer pose. Or you can bring the sole of your right foot onto the calf. If you like, you can always bring it up toward your inner thigh. Feel yourself slipping inward. Most importantly is the breath. So if you're noticing you're holding your breath, just go down the next level. This is still working as far as balancing is concerned. You can always bring your arms up. You can always go into cactus. You can allow your branches to grow. And if by chance you feel like you're falling, just yell out timber. It's completely fine. And it's autumn time, so if the leaves want to fall, that's completely fine. That's the beauty of autumn. I love the leaves, colorful leaves. When you're ready, you can always bring your right foot down and kind of walk it out so you can feel maybe the left ankles a little bit. Right? Now we're going to do the same thing on the right side. So right foot nice and grounded in there. Feel those press points in there. You can always kickstand that left heel upward and feel yourself. So you don't want to be leaning out toward the right side. Just kind of bring that whole core inward with the center line. You can bring your hands at heart center. Bring your left solar foot onto whatever angle you like. Most importantly, connect with your breath. And remember what we talked about. Where are you today at this moment? Listen to your body. Allow your body to speak to you, not your mind trying to convince you to do one thing or another thing. When we are still, we can really listen. You can always choose to grow your branches. And you're going to notice how one side might be very different than the other side. That's completely fine. In fact, that's natural. You feel your breath coming like the surface of a lake, just nice and calm. And then you're ready to come down. Same thing, kind of relax your right ankle. So we're going to heel toe our feet together, but inhale our arms right in front of us. We're going to take a seat back into our chair pose. So when we're seated back, check your knees, make sure they're not past your toes. Now, here's the thing. Your shoulders might be up scrunched by your ears. You can relax your shoulders, shoulder blades, angel wings back tucked down. So your arms can actually be a little bit wider, kind of like the same width as your shoulders. And feel where your toes are relative. So you can maybe even lift your toes up off the ground. Place your hands at heart center for our pose. Inhale here, and we're going to do a nice little spinal twist. So as you exhale, bring your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Check your knee. Did one knee kind of shift in front? If so, try to have them aligned. There'll be a choice if you want to open your arms. Inhale here. Then as you exhale, just come back to center. And then drop your hands down toward the mat, straighten your legs. Forward fold. See if you can relax your neck. Maybe your head kind of hangs down with gravity. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knee, bring your arms up as you take a seat back into that chair. Boy, we know this isn't a lazy boy chair, right? Same thing here. Feel where your feet are relative to the mat. Toes up slightly, you can wiggle them. Exhale your hands to heart center. Oh yeah, you're going to feel those muscles right along those kneecap tabs. This is really good for your knees. Inhale here. Exhale as you bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Take a peek at your knees. Make sure nothing's shifted out. Maybe your gaze is by your fingertips. Couple breath here. Try to make sure your hips are not higher than your heart. Inhale back to center. Let's bring our arms all the way up to heaven. Praise the Lord, we're done with that one. Exhale your hands back to heart center. Nice little detoxification there. Also nice little position by our spine. Hands down by your side. Straight back to mountain pose. Like that moving mountains, huh? All right. You may want to slightly move your feet away from each other just a little bit. The more brain balancing poses here. So as we lift our right knee up, so we're going to right knee up, right foot still facing down toward the floor. We're doing a little bit more balancing. Left arm up. Straighten your right leg. Exhale back down, fold it. Inhale back up. Exhale, and drop it down, both left arm and right leg. All right, same thing as the other side. So left foot up, right arm up. Straighten your left leg. Bend it down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, drop both down. All right, so you're like, okay, we're not really doing brain balancing. Let's go do the other side again. This time, Right arm up, left arm up, right leg up. Straighten your leg. This time, as you bend your right knee, I want you to bring your left knee down toward it. Inhale, straighten, move up. Exhale, bring your left elbow down toward it. Inhale, straighten both. Reach your arm up. Exhale, your elbow toward your right knee. Drop it down. Ready for the other side? Left leg up, right arm up. Inhale, your left leg straight. As you exhale, bring your right elbow toward your left knee. My goodness, instead of falling over. Inhale, straight both up. Exhale, elbow to your knee. Inhale, up. Exhale, in. Inhale, up. Exhale, in. And drop down. Shoot, if this was tree pose, I'd be yelling timber. All right, you guys, how's everyone doing? It goes to show for me that one side definitely is a little bit off than the other side. I struggled with that side. That was very interesting. All right. So back into our sun salutation. So check your feet position. We're going to bring our hands down by our side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale your arms all the way back up toward each other. Exhale, just sweep your arms all the way down, folding at your hips. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. Really feel your shoulder blades coming back behind you. Exhale your hands down by the side. Take a step back, your right foot. Inhale your arms up. Really feel your right heel going toward the back wall. Exhale your hands down toward the mat. Take a step back with your left foot. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. As you exhale into your chaturanga, you can always drop your knees. Slowly come down with control. Inhale to upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale your right foot forward. Check that right knee above that right ankle. You can always come up into your lunge. Exhale your hands down. Take a step up with your left foot. Forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shin. Flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up toward heaven. Exhale, fold forward. Hands all the way back down. Inhale your hands to your shin, nice flat back. Exhale your hands back down. Take a step back with your left foot. Inhale your hands all the way up into your lunge. Exhale your hands back down. Take a step back with your right foot into your downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. As you exhale, you can go into your chaturanga. Again, you can drop your knees. Inhale to upward facing dog, upward dog, or baby cobra. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot forward. Bring your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands out. Take a step up with your right foot. Inhale your hands to your shin, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up toward heaven. Exhale your hands to heart center. Back into Tadasana. Now I'm wondering if that feels a lot easier. You feel like more warmed up. And with that, you're going to slightly heel toes your feet out. Feet's going to be pointing outward, your heels a little bit closer in, and we're going to come down into a squat. So squat, feel free to take a block or anything to be underneath your hips. Your elbows might be pressing outward. Be kind. You may not have done too much of a hip opener yet. Can you sense where things are? And then we're going to slowly come down onto the mat. Your soles of feet toward each other, touching gently. And again, feel where your hips, where your lower back feels. If by chance this does not feel comfortable, you can always sit on a blanket or a towel. Just again, lift it upward to help with that pelvis rotation. If you like, you can actually start leaning forward at the hips, just a little bit more of a hip opener. Even though I didn't plan for us to do any of those acupressure points on our feet, but if you like to incorporate anything that was done from last week, you can really see very easily the feet, so you can always choose that spot, one of the 4 gates, and where the big toe and the second toe, right between that V, that valley area, you can always gently massage that spot. And most importantly is, as you continue to do that, take stock, take awareness of the rest of your body, what might be tight, and you relax those areas. So wonderful to be really in tune to what's going on, not just externally, but more importantly, internally. That whisper. We're going to slowly come up. We're going to bring our left foot straight. We're going to have our right foot toward our inner thigh. And this is kind of funny because we're in a seated, kind of like almost like a tree pose. And this could be pretty easy because we were already doing tree pose. But with your left leg straight and right foot up against the inner thigh, I'd like for you to really feel as you're pressing your right sole of your foot into your left thigh. Can you feel your core engagement slightly? Now take notice what area, what muscles are you using? And then also whether or not you're gripping your jaw. You can relax both left foot and right foot. Now to work on that meridian, we're going to slowly bend forward toward our left straight extended leg. Again, at your hips. So if you want, you can always lift yourself upward and then bend at the hips. So feel yourself. You may notice you're not going to go down as far as easily yet. And then think about that 25%, 50%, and 75%. So as you come up, I'd like for you to bring your right leg forward where your right knee is bent in front. And bring your left hand right around it. And then just bring your right arm behind you. So you're just doing a little nice small twist. Here. And then feel what's different when you extend your left foot so that as if you're flexing that left heel. Do you feel any difference there when you continue to breathe? And bring both arms over to your left side. Touch the floor there, and then just kind of bend over there. Just feel a little bit more stretch. All right, we're going to extend our right leg, bring our left sole of our foot into the inner thigh of our right leg. Same thing here. We're going to fold forward here. So inhale, and you're going to fold right at the hips. Again, 25%, 50%, 75%. There's no special prize for going all the way down. And allow your breath to enable you to listen to your body. While you're in this pose, you can just think of all the sun salutation that we did. We don't normally do sun salutations in our classes. And come back up. And bring our left knee forward up toward the sky. And hug our right elbow into that left knee. And extend your left arm behind you. Just nice little small twist. Might be able to feel it more in your thoracic spine, perhaps. Turn your head still up toward heaven. And feel what happens when you flex that right foot, if that heel is shooting out that positive energy that you have. Bring both arms over to your right side. Touch the floor and kind of bend over toward it. Just giving a little bit of release. All right, coming back up. All right, you guys, we're going to work the core just a little bit. You know, press your heels down into the floor. Toes are still up toward the sky. And then just imagine yourself dragging that mat towards you so you can feel your lower back strengthen because of the core right in front of it. Now, brain balancing, I did promise. Right arm sweeps up toward the sky. And as you exhale, I'd like for you to lift your left foot up and then reach your right hand to touch your left foot. So kind of like this, straighten it. Up, down. Just do the same thing. Left arms up, straight. Exhale, back down. Inhale, exhale your right to your left. Inhale, back down. Exhale your left hand to your right leg. Exhale, back down. Inhale, exhale your right to your left. Inhale, back open. Exhale your left hand to your right. And you're just going to do it on your own, okay? So straighten, touch, straighten, touch. And so for me, everyone's going to be different, but for me, I feel it in my quads. I'm really struggling with my quads here. So everyone's going to be different. Listen to your body. Once you're tired, you can always go into a child's pose. A little bit of brain balancing here because we're using opposite anything across the center line. Also working your core. Getting a little bit of mini twist. So listen to your body. You're going to feel it because you're really working the core. You can always go into a child's pose. It's so great when you listen to your own body. All right, you guys, let's all go into child's pose. See, some of you guys went into child's pose, and this is where child's pose is wonderful. So a couple options again, you know, with child's pose, it's not always accessible for everyone. So you can always place towels or blankets. So sometimes if you notice that your feet are up high, sometimes having a blanket, let me show you a towel underneath your ankles, that makes it a little bit more accessible. And then you might have another towel or blanket right between where your thighs and your calves meet. So that make it a little bit easier. And then you can even have some blocks or a bolster or something like that because um, then you're in that child's pose. So a couple different things. You're pressing up against your belly, but you're allowing your back ribs to expand. And so you can relax your shoulders and stuff like that. So one of these days I might actually do a, how do you call it? Not even a chair class, but one where you're doing it by using your tables, desks, and stuff like that. And I'd like for you to even really sense as you're breathing here, can you really feel that back rib expanding? So really feel yourself stretching that fascia in the lower back. And if you do have a block, you can always place it underneath your forehead. And exactly where that third eye was, the spot between the brow, you even like massage your head back and forth on it. All right. And now place your hands in front, straighten your knees. You're going to probably need to walk it back some. You're going to go into a slight little sphinx pose. Just give a little bit of counter. Listen to your own body. So your elbows are underneath your wrists, forearms on the ground. And if you feel that's crunchy in your lower back, I want you to engage that core, kind of bring that navel to your back spine. So that little bit of support. And feel your tops of your feet pressed into the mat slightly. And feel what happens when you press your top of your feet into the mat. And imagine your knees coming off the ground because you're pressing into it. Can you feel that slight difference there? Continue your breath. Relax your quads, relax your glutes. Release your elbows, bring it out to the side. Your hands go on the mat. You may want to actually have your hands underneath your forehead as like a little pillow. Continue to relax your legs more so. And as you're laying here breathing, you can feel maybe the expansion in the back ribs, but even higher up behind the upper ribs. And slowly extend your right arm straight up along the floor above your head. Using your left hand, which is going to be directly underneath your left shoulder. Now press your left hand to the ground so that you roll over to your right side. Your left knee is going to bend so that your left foot is now planted on the ground right behind your right knee. So along your right entire side. So your head is actually resting on top of your right arm. This is a little bit of balance challenge as well. You're using your core slightly and feel your breath expanding along the left side. We're gonna now have your left hand still planted on the mat. Roll down toward your stomach again. Right hand's gonna come down by your right, underneath your right shoulder. Extend your left arm straight up along the ground. This time you're gonna press into your right hand as you make it allows you to roll over onto your left side. Again, bend your, this time, right knee so that your right foot is now right behind your left knee. Oh my goodness, this is the test for my right and left, guys. So you're up along your entire left side. Your head is resting on your left arm. Feel the expansion here. And you can feel like all these little microcosm motion inside. Your breath here. Just awareness, just consider, what are you thinking? And you're like, what is she thinking? Come back toward your stomach. Rock your leg in front. Bring your left hand in. Let's roll all the way to our back. So, whichever way is most comfortable to get into your back.
But I couldn't answer it because I didn't know how to answer.
Our knees are going to be bent, soles are on the floor. We're going to just do 2 bridge pose. So again, in any kind of bridge pose, which I consider a shoulder stand, make sure you're keeping your gaze straight up toward the sky. So you're not going to turn your head to the side. So if you're not familiar with bridge pose, please just watch what a bridge pose is instead of turning your head to the side. You really do want to keep your cervical spine, your neck nice and protected. So your hands are going to be down by your side, palms toward the floor, and maybe perhaps you can kind of feel your heels, or you can just kind of sense that your heels are nearby. So your knees are hip width apart. If there's a tendency to have your legs flare outward or fall inward, you can always put a block between on your knees, or like right between the thighs. Or even use those paper, toilet paper roll. It's actually probably the proper size, so you can hold that in there. But if not, you can just use your muscles and keep it in that position. So this time you're going to just slightly tilt your hips upward. You're just going to bring yourself up just slightly, guys. So remember, we talked about the 25, 50, and 75%. So you choose your intention. If you like to go all out, then go all out. But if you want, you just listen to your body, so you bring it up. And as you exhale, just allow your vertebrae to make contact to the ground. Just feel your own breath. So you just mat yourself. Just yourself up. So you're not only you working your glutes, again, awakening the spine, allowing the contact of the earth down to be nice and gentle. So, as you continue in this progression, you may feel yourself lifting your hips up even higher. If you do that, you can feel the weight into your shoulders. So again, you really don't want all the weight. In fact, you definitely don't want the weight into your head. You might feel the contact of the back of your head as your head's resting on the ground. That's completely fine. But you don't want to be putting the weight of your body onto your head. So this is why I call it this one shoulder. So if you do get yourself up, all the way up high, you are welcome to interlace your fingers underneath your body. And then just imagine yourself lifting your hips up high. And after you feel the muscles engaging here, this is a type of back bend as well. But this is also where the knees tend to want to flare out. So just keep yourself nice and strong, strength. Just imagine your heart's up toward heaven. Strength of the Lord, huh? and release all the way down. It says, each vertebrae kiss gently onto the mat. And bring your right knee up toward your chest and release your fingers here. So inhale here and exhale, press your right knee just a little bit closer. You can extend your left leg straight if you prefer. A little bit of a stretch between the two. You can either keep your left hand over that right leg, extend your right arm out to a T, and then you can maybe slightly lift your hips up and bring it to your right a little bit as you invite your right leg over your extended left leg. Now again, sciatica or anything like that, you may want to have both knees bent, but you don't have to go all the way over the side. So awareness of what your body is telling you. If you want this to be a little bit more like on a restorative side, you can always have some props along your left side and have your right leg just resting on top of those props. Other option is to have your gaze looking at your right fingers, giving a little bit of a cervical spine twist. Just an option. Continue breathing here, helping to recalibrate our central nervous system. If your gaze was looking at your right hand, just bring it back to center, and then slowly bring your right leg back to center. Drop your right foot onto the floor. Inhale, you lift your left leg up, and then you kind of feel yourself lifting your hips up and recalibrating it here. And release your fingers around your left leg. Inhale here, and as you exhale, just bring that left leg even closer. Maybe perhaps you can feel the left thigh up against your left stomach, or descending colon. You can always straighten your right leg. Feel the difference between the two. Inhale here, exhale your left leg closer. You can always have your right hand holding onto your left leg. Extend your left arm out. As you press your right leg into the ground, you might want to lift your hips up slightly, shift it over a little bit to the left side, and then invite your left leg over extended right leg. Again, like I said, for anyone with sciatica or anything like that, you can always have both knees bent. So you're not having it into two different directions, which tends to really irritate the nerves, really closing down that space between the two. So important to listen to your body. And if you want this restored, you can always place props or anything like that underneath your left leg. And then if you want to have more of a cervical spine twist, you can always bring your gaze over toward your left fingertip. Feel your breath here. If your gaze was at your left fingertips, bring it back to center. Bring your left knee back to center. Allow your left foot to touch the floor. And as you lift your hips up, centralize it. Bring your right foot underneath as well, so your both knees are bent. And let's just hug your knees to your chest again. So a little bit of release your lower back. Whatever motion your body's asking you to do, please listen to it. You may want to do something. Sometimes people like to do a quick legs up the wall, or a happy baby, or just draw circles with the knees. Just make sure you're doing both directions. And then as we get ready to go into our Shavasana, Feel what feels great for you. So again, you can use any props you like. You can always put some bolster or blocks or towels underneath your knees, or you can even just go to the wall and have legs up the wall. If you like, you can do in traditional shavasana. So as we get into our shavasana, our final resting pose, find what will allow your physical body to rest. Do those cervical rolls with a towel or a blanket. You can even place a eye pillow over your eyes or a towel. Have your hands, the palms resting up, facing upward toward heaven. You can relax it. Tuck those angel wings underneath. Close your eyes gently. And just feel the release as you connect to your breath once more. Taking stock of how you feel. You feel as if your entire body was able to get some motion in it with the sun salutation that we were able to practice. As we rest here, knowing that Shavasana stands for dead corpse pose, and it's very symbolic in the yoga practice, as what we do on the mat during our practice in some ways represents our life. Do we start off with intention? We know where our focus is at. And we be in tune to parts of our lives or the parts of our body that sometimes make more. Not judging, but just awareness so that we don't neglect things that are important. We're being still so that we can hear the calling for us to use our life forward. Using the opportunity. Just feel the physical release. See if you can allow the emotional release. Put your breath into any area that might be just seem to be gripping on. You surrender it, letting our life. We're gripping on the things that life force. It would just go from sole to your feet, just to lighten up. The light just comes from your feet all the way up your legs, your spine. Wrap your arms around your head, We're just going to bring some awareness back into your body by putting your fingers on your toes, rotate your ankles, wrists, rotate in the opposite direction. Inhale your arms over your head. Walk your feet toward each other. As you exhale, bring your knees up, your elbows are up. Keep your eyes closed. And roll over to your right side or your left side if you prefer. Your lower arms underneath your head to keep your cervical spine alignment. And hands on top. Breath fully engage the thigh. Your eyes closed. Use your upper arm to press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Toward front. Resting gently on top of your thighs. Palms still up to receive. As you relate, I want to share this one other verse that really resonated. There's been so much that's been going on recently. So keeping the crown of your head still up toward heaven, take notice of, because of the tender mercy of our God, whereby the sunrise shall visit us from on high to give light to those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our foot onto the way of peace. Continue that each time that we see the rising sun. God is so merciful. Continues to receive His mercy. Bring your hands together, palm touching palm, thumb resting right above your heart. As we inhale through our nose, exhale, out breath, open mouth, just release. Gather in all of God's love through your inhale here. Exhale anything that might be stressing you out. Inhale one more time. His mercy. Exhale all His forgiveness. Just lift your thumb up to your third eye. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.